Anyway, we're going to be jumping into our first map of our final series of the evening. It is going to be another best of 5, but this time it's going to be a ZVP, where in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we of course have our pink Protoss player with that Beetle-Gub, also a Zest decal. Just trying to get the alliteration out as much as possible. From the land of Poland, he is of course going to be representing Platinum Heroes. So much alliteration potential. He is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Austrian Zerg player himself, representing Platinum Heroes. It is HateMe. Very interesting name. I don't know if you remember, but the last time we casted HateMe, we were both like, is this really the kind of name that you want? That's an ID.
Yeah, I think at a certain point we were like, it sounds mean.
Like, does he want people to hate him, or does he hate himself, or what is happening?
It's coming back to me. At a certain point, we started calling him HateMe.
Oh yeah, I remember. HateMe. It's true. We didn't know. You know, it could all just be one word. It's possible.
Yeah.
Copian.
Yeah, just because he capitalized the M doesn't mean that it's two different words. We've seen plenty of players, and I do mean plenty of players, just randomly capitalize their words, so it could just be HateMe.
Yeah, he could be a weeb. It could.
Yeah. Is that Japanese?
I think that sounds like a Japanese word.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Why not? Yeah, it's just Japanese. It's close enough.
Yeah.
We're close enough
somewhere
to
around
Japan
that region. Yeah. We can say that with authority. You know, we're only like 1,000 kilometers away from Japan.
Yeah, we're right next door.
10,000. Yeah.
Exactly. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You know, Japan, they once controlled Singapore, so I think I can say with authority that HateMe is Japanese.
You're basically Japanese, Yaku. You're basically Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fluent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 1/8 Japanese.
There you go.
Unironically.
As we are getting into this game, so far, pretty standard opener from our Zerg player. Hatch, gas pool, nothing crazy. Pulled out a gas as well. From the side of ArT here on Babylon, also we have a Stargate opener, so nothing too crazy, nothing out of the norm so far.
Yeah. It only took a Zerg player to give us a normal map or a normal game.
Yeah, things are settling down here. I mean, we'll see. You know, you can still go. There are definitely link floods that you can go for off of 3 bases. You know, Demi will let us know about that. It's definitely within the realm of possibility. So we'll see where things kind of go. For the time being, ArT is doing a great job at just pushing away some of these overlords, keeping HateMe in the dark, as he's actually going for an Evo chamber thrown down behind his mineral line.
I'm sensing melee.
Yeah, it definitely could. There we go!
Yep.
Oh boy, so HateMe is setting up for some very heavy Ling play. If it was going to be Ling Bane or more of a macro opener, then we should be seeing Carapace instead. So very sus play from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, his Ling's very active, very nicely done. He does pick off the probe as ArT was trying to throw down the third.
Nice little pick off going on there. Just getting a delay that much by that much more. And I was gonna say, normally when I see a melee first, I would be thinking, okay, are we gonna get a Baneling Nest after this? Are we gonna get a bust coming down? But knowing HateMe, I have a feeling it's gonna be nothing but things from this guy.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm very curious how this is all gonna play out. We have a lair behind this, and a Roach Warren is thrown down as well. I'm very perplexed here by what is happening and where HateMe wants to take this here. It's possible that maybe he initially planned to go for a Ling Flood with that melee upgrade, but as the game has gone on, maybe it's not as viable, or he intends to go for something like +2. It's quite possible.
Yeah, we have seen +1 Ling Floods as a bit of a counter to Stalker openings or Stalker army compositions that have been getting more and more popular in the recent months. But now that we are on a new patch, I feel like there's a lot more. There's still a lot of room to try to figure out what Zerg wants to do against Protoss, and vice versa.
Yeah, like additional gases are being taken. We have a second Evo chamber, so it looks like HateMe is looking to go for a bit of a longer game. He can go into fast +2 melee, and with +2 melee, you can one-shot probes with Banelings. So I expect to see a Baneling that's thrown down at some point.
Yeah, it'd just be a really good way of pressuring ArT. You know, he may have a wall by his actual base, but his third base is still looking pretty exposed. You mentioned that HateMe might just want a longer game out of this, but I don't think that's what ArT wants right now, as 6 more gates finish up for a total of 8 gates coming down, coinciding with charge and +1 finishing up for him.
Yeah, this has become quite popular in current meta. Not +1 Blink Stalkers, but +1 Charge Lots instead. This is usually paired with Archons, but we don't see a Templar Archives. So ArT is just relying on nothing but Zealots. They're rushing across the map. There is no Baneling Nest to help deal with them, but we do have Lings, and Roaches are in production.
Yeah, if the Lynx can sort of isolate the Zealots, get a good surround on them, then the Roaches should be able to handle the rest. But right now, the Zealots are fighting as one, and they are hitting with all of their damage at once.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to pick off a couple of queens. It looks like a second queen is going to go down. Not too bad here. The Roaches are having a hard time kiting. These Zealots are doing some decent damage, bearing in mind we're only spending minerals here for ArT.
Yeah, the targeting did get a little bit awkward here for ArT. Those Zealots sort of dancing in between drones, so very nice body blocking from HateMe. Yeah. The first wave has been cleaned up, and the subsequent waves shouldn't be as scary.
Yeah, another queen went down, and ArT really wants this hatchery, by the way. He wants to get a kill on this 4th base, but it looks like he will not get it.
Very good defense coming out here from HateMe.
Oh, exactly, and it looks like with this, ArT is forced to back off. He's taking a 4th base behind this. I'm sure he would have loved to kill this hatchery, and now he's gonna have to be the defender. HateMe has survived, and he's got quite a large army here. Bearing in mind, we are hitting with a 2-1 upgrade advantage. HateMe is gonna be hitting quite hard here with Ling Roach.
Yeah, and if we look at what's here to defend for ArT, it's mostly Zealots. I mean, he has a couple of Archons, he has an Immortal, but once these Banelings connect with these Zealots, I don't think there's going to be any buffer for them remaining. As it turns out, that's not something that ArT has to worry about for the time being, though, as HateMe pulls away.
Yeah, I think what happened is that he morphed in those Banelings, and then he checked, and he noticed that he didn't have Baneling speed. I don't think that Baneling speed was supposed to be this late. I think it is late because of all the Zealot harass. Like, HateMe was preoccupied dealing with all the aggression from ArT that maybe it slipped his mind a little bit, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit longer here, and he's gonna give ArT an opportunity to catch up in the army supply, to catch up in those upgrades.
Yeah, and while this is all going on, he did drone up heavily. He is on that 77 worker count that you want to be in at the end of the mid game and getting into the beginning of the late game as well. I don't believe it, Light, but we're actually getting a late game. Hive is on the way right now for HateMe.
Oh.
And we're actually getting a late game. Not a very long late game, but late game nonetheless.
Yeah, Hive is going to be on the way. We've had a couple of Baneling run-bys towards the northern side of the map as well. ArT losing 5 probes. We have 4 more Banelings being morphed in as well, but ArT is going to be pushing on in. He takes down that base. Oh, but does he have enough to push on even further? Well,
we'll see. His Archons are starting to get low. A lot of the Banelings were wasted on the Archons instead of any of the gateway units and whatnot. But while this is happening, Banelings do crash into mineral lines, and 19 probes get taken out in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, ArT was pretty committed with that push, and this is just a little bit too much here. ArT has to be very careful not to lose these Archons. If he does, then he won't have any staying power with the rest of his army to hold on. Another Baneling run by takes down another Mineral Line.
This is way too much damage for ArT to be sustaining right now. He barely has a bank, and now he has less than half the income of HateMe.
Yeah, he just cannot keep up right now with the Baneling run-bys of HateMe. Again, the power of +2 melee. You only need a single Baneling to get in and detonate to just kill everything. And now he's just forcing ArT into a really awkward position. We have Storm on the way, which would be nice if ArT hadn't lost already so much supply to begin with.
Yeah, these need to be the most perfect storms in the world that blanket the entire army, but considering how rich HateMe is right now and how much of a higher army supply he has, I don't think these handful of storms are gonna cut it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Meanwhile, it feels bad, man. I don't know if you saw, HateMe sends another Baneling run by into the Mineral Line, but there was nothing to kill.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
but
too real.
yeah, he sends a couple more in towards the triangular third. 8 more probes go down. ArT down 30 workers.
That is not ideal at all.
the
Even the
prism.
War Prism is a lot of trouble. The Queens are going to be able to take out the Prism with one Archon inside of it. The Lings make very short work of the other Archon. Things have just gone from bad to worse to even worse here for ArT.
ArT is falling apart, making little mistakes like this, like losing, big mistakes even, like losing that Prism, losing 2 Archons for free. It's just making a comeback just more and more of a fantasy, to be honest. I mean, ArT does have a little high tempo for Storm, and we already see a couple of zoning storms being thrown down, but HateMe has Broodlords on the way.
Yeah. There's no easy answer to the Broodlords. I mean, if ArT were any richer, he could get a couple more Stargates. He could get either Void Rays or even Tempest if he was so inclined, but just look at the income. Look at the bank. ArT can afford much of anything. I was gonna go into this whole thing if I was like, 4 bases as a Protoss player. You can try to turtle up and you can try to go into Skytoss from here, but yeah, HateMe is just running circles around ArT. I don't think Skytoss is. I don't think Skytoss is realistic right now for ArT, but at the same time, it's also his only option. He has to try to get Skytoss.
It really is his only option. And the wall is not a wall. The Ling run by going into the natural base is going to force ArT's hand and force him back to defend, and that may just open him up to more aggression. Banelings are rolling in towards the 4th base. ArT is here with his main army, but he's still going to be losing probes.
HateMe has 5 Broodlords. And he hasn't used a single one of them to get all this damage done.
Yeah, he hasn't.
The Nexus even goes down.
Oh my god. The natural Nexus goes down. Lings are still wreaking havoc in the main base. They scout the Stargates. HateMe is fully aware of the Skytoss transition, but before that happens, the Broodlords reveal themselves. GG gets called.
Man, that's how scary the Broodlords were at that point. At that moment when ArT saw the Broodlords, he knew he had no response. GG's, taps out immediately, and ArT, the player who I consider to be the overwhelming favorite in this bracket, will begin the playoffs with a 0-1 deficit.
Wow, and
very nicely done from HateMe.
Yeah, really, really solid start to the series here for HateMe. I'm completely behind you on that. I think we're both expecting a lot from ArT, and this game was really interesting because we saw ArT playing around with a build that I haven't seen him do before, and that is, if you remember, he started things off going into that +1 charge timing where he just sent Zealots everywhere. He sent Zealots to the natural, the 3rd, and the 4th as well, all over the place to try and overwhelm the Zerg player and catch them off guard. It was really interesting. We haven't seen that too often because it didn't have a Prism behind it to support it or Archons or anything like that. It's supposed to hit at an awkward timing to catch the Zerg player. But we saw that it didn't really do too much, and it was in the end it did turn out to be a little bit wasteful for our Protoss player.
It really did in the end, and oh man, this is a really good side for HateMe, I gotta say. You know, again, my impression of HateMe is a little bit outdated. You know, it's been a long time since I've really been able to catch HateMe in a tournament, but yeah, I like that he was still aggressive, but he wasn't completely all in. It really does look like he's, what's the word I'm thinking of here, Light? He's becoming more of a well-rounded player in a sense. He's like, yeah, there's more depth to his play, and yo, if you can take out ArT, that's an incredible sign of things to come.
It really is. And to be fair, like when we think of HateMe, we think of Lings, and Lings did do quite a lot for him in that last game.
Yeah, but he used those Lings in a very in a very different way. He wasn't just aping the Lings. Let's put it that way. As we continue our series now onto Dragon Scales, LE, which of course stands for Lemon Emporium. Well, all the Emporiums tonight. We're in the top left-hand corner of the map, swinging all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have our pink Polish Protoss player playing for Platinum Heroes with that Beetlgub, otherwise known as Zest, decal. From the land of Poland, he is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Austrian Zerg player representing Platinum Heroes. It is HateMe, otherwise known as HateMe.
HateMe.
Oh god.
I feel like that is a word.
It is. I'm pretty sure it's a word.
I don't know what it means at all, or which context it is used in, but yeah, you know, it's what should we call it? It's usually shouted, I feel, by the anime protagonist's love interest. At a certain point.
Oh my god. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that story transpires before us. Are we gonna get into the anime school life? Is it gonna happen?
Is ArT HateMe's love interest? Question mark?
Look, he could just be tsundere, you know? He could just...
they are teammates.
Yeah, yeah. There you go, there you go. He's acting aggressive towards ArT, but really, really, they're in love.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my god.
Austria and Poland, they're like right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what Hero would say.
Then hop over the borders, yeah. Yeah, over in that
Greenland,
sort of Greenland area.
Yeah. Oh god. I wonder who's oh my god, I wonder who catches onto that reference, as ArT is gonna be mixing things up quite a bit here. He's going for a robo opener.
Very interesting choice being made. Definitely one that is a lot more committed, I feel. But it does also mean that, you know, he's not going to have the defense of an Oracle, the defense of a Void Ray. If HateMe does decide to go for a Link Flood, and we're just waiting for it, ArT isn't going to have a lot of options to defend.
Yeah, so we have a couple of different pathways from here. We can start Immortal production very early on and go for like a heavy Immortal kind of like Soul Train-esque push. We can go for a Robotics Bay to go into fast Disruptors and go for Disruptor drops, or even Colossus drops, very similar to, you know, PvT in that aspect. The Overlords are being pushed away. The fact that we have a Stalker here is already a little bit sus.
Yeah, normally you don't want to be spending gas on a Stalker. You want to be utilizing it to get either a Twilight Council with upgrades out, or a Stargate for either an Oracle or a Void Ray. I believe this Overlord, yeah. Just about confirms the Robo facility.
Yeah, so a couple of things here. He didn't just confirm the Robo, he also saw another gateway on the way, so he knows it's not a fast Robotics Bay. He knows that it should be Immortal with gate. It's basically a 2-base all-in. 5 gates with an Immortal. ArT, he's going to be going across the map with an insane push, an insane army. Can HateMe hold?
Well, Let's find out. He drones up.
He's
no. He drones up heavily. I was gonna say, unironically, having a whole bunch of lings is what you want in this situation.
I mean,
these drones are just gonna die.
This is okay. 40 drones is okay. 40 drones is fine.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't make any more workers from here, it's gonna be okay. HateMe does have lings at the third base locations. The longer this goes on, the more he recognizes, okay, it is going to be 2 bases, and HateMe is making nothing but lings and roaches right now. It looks like he has recognized that something is wrong.
Yep. And if he wasn't sure before, now he definitely is. He's throwing down, okay, a couple of spore crawlers, which will also help, which can definitely help zone away the warp prism and whatnot. But once again, we are only looking at the lings, we are only looking at the queens, we are only looking at the roaches and ravagers.
Yeah, and we are going to have one Ravager. The Queens are brought forward. The Spore is going to do a great job at zoning away that Prism, and in case there were DTs, there is detection now available. The Biles are going to be connecting there with their Zealots.
That's actually a pretty huge connection, but this is still a very beefy army regardless. 2 Immortals is a lot of firepower. More and more Ling reinforcements are coming out and just chipping away at this army. The Queens are on top of the War Prism, and the War Prism will fall. A couple more Zealots will pop out, but now there's no micro potential, there's no reinforcing potential. I think HateMe just wins.
HateMe has held. GG gets called, and HateMe takes a 2-0 lead in this series.
He is 1 map away from eliminating the overwhelming favorite in this bracket. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing, but I am in awe and I'm very impressed.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for the school arc. Let's go. Oh my god.
I would definitely love that. I would love for HateMe to just have a hell of a bracket run in this Ascension League, and I would love for him to start that run by taking out ArT. But honestly, the next 3 games from here could just be a complete reverse sweep from ArT. It could just be 5-minute, it could just be 5-minute games here on out from ArT winning. But I would still be very, very impressed with what I'm seeing from HateMe.
Definitely. Like, HateMe has already put on a really good performance, and personally, as a Zerg player, I would like to see some Zerg representation in this tournament. HateMe is the only Zerg player in the bracket. It would be nice if we have a Zerg at least in the semis, just to mix up some of the matches,
The entire Cabal is resting on HateMe's shoulders right now, so
true.
Hopefully he doesn't disappoint.
Like many others have already. Smooch. feels Zerg Cabal, man. But yeah, really impressive so far. I'm really shocked that ArT went for a 2-base all-in, a 2-base robo all-in. It is very out of fashion. It's very out of meta. It isn't really popular at all nowadays, so I'm a little bit shocked. I'm a little bit shocked that he decided to go for this. I'll be honest, based off of game 1 and game 2, it feels like ArT is maybe overconfident. I think both builds were relying on his opponent messing up, on his opponent not scouting and not responding, and he thought he would be able to overwhelm HateMe both games, and he just hasn't. HateMe, he's too good for that. He's too good.
Yeah. ArT hasn't been overwhelmed by the hatred yet. Or no, actually, wait. How does this work? Because he is losing to HateMe. So maybe that is being overwhelmed by the hatred, but at the same time, HateMe is hate me, not hate you.
Yeah. He wants you to hate.
You get where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
Wait. But if you hate... Wait. Anyway, we are going to be continuing our series now on Ancient Cistern. Actually, for the first time tonight. I'm a little bit surprised, but yeah. We are going to be seeing it now in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in that top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our pink Polish Protoss player playing for Platinum Heroes with that Pichelgub, otherwise known as this decal. He is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, the one and only Zerg player in the entire bracket. He's one game away from advancing on into the semi-finals. Representing Platinum Heroes, it is HateMe.
Appreciate the context or additional information being thrown down here by Ted Dobson. Apparently, HateMe has a 31% chance, according to Ligulac anyway, a 31% chance of beating ArT.
Yeah, that like when we said ArT was the favorite, you know, that's kind of what we're talking about. We didn't know exactly what the numbers were behind it, but you know, he has been really leveling up over the past couple of years. He's an amazing player. But I was kind of talking about it, and I don't want to come up with too many excuses already, but you know, off-season, Christmas.
Jet lagged, you know.
He's jet lagged, you know, like
doesn't have a mouse pad.
Yeah, it's a little bit too hot, and the AC is broken, you know, like it happens. It happens. Oh my god. So we'll see if ArT can bring it together here. He needs to. He is up against the wall right now. One more loss, and he's done. He's out of the tournament.
Yeah, not just out of the tournament, but out going 0-3 in the playoff stage.
Oh,
that would be insane to even consider.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It'd be crazy. But for the time being, ArT, he's once again mixing up his openers. Game number 1, he went for a Stargate opener. Game 2, he went for a Robo. And now here in Game 3, he is settling on a Twilight Council opener. Not just a Twilight Council, he's making a Sentry.
That's for wait. I was gonna say that's for scouting, right? But why would you not use an Adept to scout in that case?
Yeah, this is really odd. I guess ArT is being very safe, and we see why. Typically, you don't go for Sentry openers like this in this matchup, but he's maybe a little bit paranoid about aggression, about a Link Flood, so he'll be able to force field and wall off, and he's going for a Dark Shrine behind this.
Alrighty then. I'm pretty excited for this. You know, HateMe hasn't been able to get a scout of the main base. He hasn't been able to confirm not just the Dark Shrine, but even the fact that ArT is opening up with a Twilight Council. I'm hoping this means that he's going to play it safe and get a couple of Spore Crawlers, but again, there's no reason for him. There's nothing that he's seen that is telling him, I need to get Spore Crawlers right now.
Yeah, and I mean, HateMe, he's already got to be like, things have got to be running through his head right now. Like, why is there a Sentry? Your third is being delayed. Clearly, it wasn't a Stargate opener. What exactly is going on in the main base? So far, he hasn't seen the Dark Shrine, and we don't see any spores. We don't see a lair. There is no detection.
None whatsoever. The Dark Shrine completes. Oh man, ArT has to be very, very careful. He doesn't want to reveal his hand while all of these Lings are in position.
Yeah.
And now the DTs are warping in very, very quickly. There are still no Spore Crawlers, still no lair for an Overseer.
Is the game going to end with just these DTs? Is that what's just about to happen? There's no way to deal with them. There's actually just no way.
Absolutely zero. Okay, one Spore Crawler being thrown down in natural base. I don't think that's going to be enough. At all.
Yeah, we'll see how HateMe's able to handle this kind of crisis management here. We do have one Spore. There we go. Immediately he does spot it. He does pull the boys, and he hugs that Spore with his life with all these drones.
Oh, look at the body blocking with these roaches. He forces both a recall and an Archon, but the recall doesn't go through.
Mate.
That was... I was ready to say we're going into game number 4. I was ready to just give the point to ArT, but HateMe, despite not even knowing that the Dark Shrine was being made, despite having no clue what was coming his way, reacts so quickly. He hugs that spore so tight, and he gets such a good body block on the rest of the DTs as well. This game is going to continue, and this opening of ArT has completely flopped.
Yeah, this opener has just done absolutely nothing. It wasn't just that the DTs didn't do any damage, it's also that they died, and the Archon fell as well, and we had a wasted recall that of course is energy that could have been used in other areas. So a great start here for HateMe. He's been getting away with just droning, he's taking all of his gases. We should be seeing a 4th base soon. We have a lair on the way, we have more tech. He's actually got pneumatized carapace. The madman. Is he gonna go for dropper lords? Is he gonna push out with his queens?
He's gonna drop roaches?
Okay,
that would make much more sense. I was thinking, oh, you know, he's gonna fight Cheeky with Cheeky and just go for dropper lords into the main base. But yeah, now you mention it, yeah, it's not quite the German taxi now, is it?
Yeah, and
look, the variation of that makes much more sense here.
To be fair, I would love it, but looking at the units tab here, we only have 4 queens. We only have enough to creep and inject, so it looks like he shouldn't be moving out with his queens, but the rest of the army is following suit here. Roach speed is halfway done. Everything is going to be moving on now. The DT does scout this, as the DT does slip in towards the main base. And yes, so far, I guess pneumatized carapace was just for the Overseer, just so we can, you know, make sure the detection gets where it needs to be. I guess. Makes
sense. And there are times where the Overseer is a bit too slow, and by the time it actually gets into position, the DT already shaves off pretty much the entire link count.
Definitely, as we do see ArT just kind of flirting with the army here, pushing out with his Stalkers, going to be confirming that HateMe's in position. This fourth base of HateMe, by the way, is pretty late. This could have been thrown down earlier, is actually later than ArT's 4th. So this is a little bit concerning. HateMe, he's not really economically getting as far ahead as he otherwise could have.
Yeah, but of course part of that was because he invested a lot in his army. He has a pretty massive army, even though it's not that supply efficient. He's just got to find a use for it.
Yeah, and for the time being, he's more concerned with defending and expanding right now, and as a result, he's losing a lot here. A lot of Lings are being bled out. Nice target firing on that Overseer as well. We just see HateMe trying to get on top of these Stalkers, but the Blinks are just a little bit too good, and ArT is able to fall back to the safety of these shield batteries.
Yeah, a couple of them go down, but not enough for HateMe to really carry this momentum. He is, though, trying to get a 5th base, and +2 melee is about to finish up. You know, while defending as well, HateMe was able to seek a couple of Banelings across the map. They got about 3 probe kills, something like that. If he can keep that up, then we could be in a similar position to game number 1.
Yeah, like, I feel like any kind of lead that HateMe had earlier, ArT has been able to catch up and maybe even surpass here. Like, his bases are quite solidified. We just see him taking up now and finally working towards splash damage. That's the one big thing that he is lacking. At the same time, with his Stalkers, once again, he's not really under too much of a threat. There aren't enough Lings here to punish these Blinks.
Those poor Overseers. They were too fast.
Oh, at the same time, we have a Baneling Wombat here at the triangular third. The Prims are stuck!
Such an unfortunate SimCity. ArT, he thought he was building a wall to keep the Banelings out. Really, he was building walls to keep the probes in.
The probes, they couldn't go anywhere. At the same time, we have a Zealot run by, but it gets cleaned up without doing too much damage. The Stalkers are moving on in, trying to deny this 5th base. Warp Prism into the main. The Zealots, yo, they can dive on top of the Greater Spire.
They absolutely can. The 5th base has gone down to the Stalkers, and these Zealots will be able to take out the Greater Spire.
The Spire goes down, the 5th goes down. HateMe, it's now his turn to be pulled apart here on Ancient Cistern. We have another warp in of Zealots. These Queens are really struggling. The Lings as well. The Stalkers come back in, and HateMe, I don't know if he has enough.
I highly doubt it. I mean, he's having trouble splitting up out his army already.
Oof.
Now that we have... Now that we have the Stalkers getting into position as well, just chasing down all these reinforcements. The Corruptors haven't even been able to really deal with the Warp Prism.
Yeah, exactly. Just HateMe, he's falling apart at the seams right now. Zealots even getting the queens into the main. The Stalkers move on forward. They got the 5th. They get the 4th as well. HateMe is knocked down to 3 hatcheries.
It's a very deceptive number right now with the army supply. They look about even, but of course most of that supply for HateMe is eggs right now. Even that roaches aren't exactly the most supply efficient unit, so GG is called, and ArT will be fighting back. He will be demonstrating why he is the favorite in this bracket for a reason. He's not gonna go down without a fight.
GG.
He cannot even go down.
Yeah, and see, this is the ArT that we were looking for. This is the ArT that we know and love, and even though he had a really rough start to that game, HateMe didn't take advantage of the failings of those DTs really fast enough, and ArT was able to stabilize, come back, and completely pull HateMe apart. HateMe, he went for a very fast hive. He was working on a greater spire. He was working on his tech. It was lacking in other aspects because of that, and things were really taking a turn for the worst when that greater spire got sniped. Oh.
Yeah, if it survived, then maybe. If it survived, then maybe HateMe could have gotten a couple of Brute Lords out. Just a way to really get ahead of ArT when it comes to the tech. At that point, ArT really didn't have a solution to Brute Lords. He didn't have any Voideries or anything. He was relying pretty much solely on Stalkers for his anti-air. Still possible to fight with Brute Lords, but I think at that point, HateMe would have been so secure. He would have been able to keep his bases up and running and just catch up from there. But very decisive from ArT. As you said, he just noticed what was the most worrisome unit, or worrisome building, that HateMe was getting, and he zeroed in on it, and with that, we're going into game number 4. Which, really, I feel like we should have been getting into game number 4 a while ago, but I just want to throw it all the way back to that DT defense, man. That was beautiful to witness.
Yeah, it was really impressive play from HateMe at the start of that. I have to wonder if maybe it was something like nerves getting to him in that game where like the transition was really shaky. Yeah, it was really odd to see that from HateMe. So we'll see how things can kind of move on from here. We're going to be diving into game number 4. HateMe still only needs one more game to move on to the semis. ArT needs to take this to bring it to the ace match.
Indeed he does. And he needs to win another one after that to win the whole thing.
Exactly. Are we gonna go the distance? For now, we're gonna be loading into Gressvan. Oh, and what kind of opener are we gonna see from our Protoss player?
Proxy Tempest. Calling it now. As we load on into Gressvan, as you were mentioning, we're in the top left-hand corner of the map, swinging all the way in. That top left-hand corner of the map, we of course have our pink Polish Protoss player from the land of Poland playing for Platinum Heroes with that Pichogab decal. We have ArT.
And here we go. The Zerg player in the bottom right-hand corner is reverting to his primal form, going for a 12 pool. We have the Austrian Zerg player representing Platinum Heroes. It is HateMe.
Oh yeah. This is the HateMe I'm familiar with. This is the HateMe that we dubbed HateMe way back in DreamHack Valencia.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, Gressvan is known as the map with the largest kind of opening to go into the natural, so walling here can be difficult. But ArT goes for a probe scout and he sees the 12 pool. He's fully aware of what is going on, and ArT is looking to respond. He throws down a second pylon. He is looking to get a full wall up and running.
Yeah, getting the Zealot out. Gonna have to do that Zealot Zergling dance for a little bit just to keep these lings at bay. It is a little bit... Whoa!
Oh, it gets scouted. Oh my god, HateMe, no! He was trying to hide it. He was trying to hide the drone pool, but the probe sees it, so he has to pull back. Oh my god.
Man.
Uh,
At that point, would it have been better to just commit, or
it's nothing. There is no good answer.
yeah.
Smurge, the walk of shame back home. HateMe has to go back to mining. And across the map, we have an adept on the way. As long as ArT doesn't get this zealot surrounded, he should be okay. Nice target firing on this gateway. The gateway is getting quite close to going down.
Yeah, utilizing the maximum amount of lings that he can get on top of that gateway. It should be going down if HateMe commits, but of course, the trouble is if HateMe commits, then he's gonna lose his map control. He's not gonna have gotten enough damage done. He will be able to take it out, but the probe was already in place to replace that, so yeah, HateMe just cuts his losses, is satisfied with taking out that gateway, and will return home.
Yeah,
to what end?
that was really cheeky from HateMe. So what he did there was he wanted to let the gateway finish. Because he didn't want ArT to cancel it, basically. So he wanted to make sure he got a confirmed kill on that, just to force some wasted resources out of ArT. But alas, that's all he could really accomplish, and ArT is looking quite powerful back at home. He's throwing down a gateway. He's transitioning with his tech, with his Twilight Council, and a robo. Oh. And it's gonna be on HateMe to try and claw his way back into this and try and drone.
Yeah, and we'll see how exactly he's gonna be able to accomplish that, because ArT, he's already hit his checkpoints when it comes to tech. He finished the Twilight Council, he's getting his robo facility, more importantly, he's getting glaives.
Yeah, I think this is really smart from ArT. Like, he knows that he has an advantage right now, and he wants to capitalize on that advantage as quickly as possible, going for glaive adepts. HateMe, meanwhile, is just doing the best he can to re-drone to catch up in the gas count as well. Link speed is on the way. He's still trying to recover, and I don't know if HateMe can ever really prepare for this, because he has to drone. As far as he knows, he has to drone.
Yeah, HateMe's just trying to recover. ArT's gonna take him out before that happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Prism is already on the way. This Overlord hasn't gone in for a scout. HateMe doesn't know if it's a Stargate or a Twilight Council, if there's a Forge behind it or a fast Robo. He's playing blind. And even if he makes Lings aren't going to be enough. We need Roaches or Banelings, one or the other, to defend against Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, Lings can do a lot to get a good surround, but they don't actually have the DPS on them to really take out the Adepts.
Oh my god, and the Adepts have been scattered by the Overlords. HateMe is throwing down a full wall with these Evo chambers. He starts off a Baneling nest as well. He knows that Banelings are really his only way to defend against this, and he's completely giving up his third.
I mean, there's just no way to defend it at this point. You might as well just gather your units together and head to a more defensible location.
Oh, exactly. We do see the Lings and Queens are going to be looking to push this back, though. So HateMe is looking to try and hold on to that hatchery. At the same time, ArT, he's getting his Prism into the main.
Already warping in units behind enemy lines. And HateMe, is trapped a little bit outside of his own base. Now he's turning around to deal with these Adepts in the main, but what about the Adepts in the third?
We have a couple of transfuses going down. He wants to try and hold on to the hatchery. The Banelings are going to be able to zone this away as well. HateMe barely holds on to his third. At the same time, we have another warp in of Adepts into the main base. The positioning behind the mineral line is just too good.
It really, really is. I mean, there's just no way to get surface area on top of these Adepts with these Lings. HateMe, he's gonna try. He has to at least try, but okay. He's able to chase him away for the time being.
Yeah, but the Adepts, they shade in on top of the third base. Can they get the hatchery? We have more transfuses barely trying to keep it alive.
Ooh, and the Banelings do crash into the vast majority of these Adepts. But more of them are just gonna be warped in.
Yeah.
And drones finally go down, and with that, ArT is able to take us to our ace match. He is the favorite, guys. He is the one with the 69% odds of winning. He was not going to go down 3-0.
GG. Nice. As ArT does scout and defend against the 12 pool. That was such a sad 12 pool, to be honest. Like, you rarely get to see it, but when HateMe got scouted and when he pulled the boys back home, ugh, my heart hurt when that happened.
That was when we knew his fate was sealed.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as that happened, it's like, mate, it's too far gone. Like, he lost so much mining time doing that. To try to macro out of that is crazy. And now we are going to be moving on to our ace match. As we get ready for our ace match, massive shout out to Chileno Singaporean in the chat for resubscribing for 25 months, just over 2 years. Thank you so much, Chileno. Thank you. Thank you.
Gah!
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, much love, much support. You're coming in here just in time as we are getting into our final game of the evening.
Let's go. It is, in fact, going to be a ZVP. For everyone who was not watching the past 4 games of this Best of 5 series. But yeah, we are going to end it all tonight. And who is going to be the player to advance and face Spats in those semifinals? Is it going to be ArT, the overwhelming favorite? Or is it going to be his tsundere teammate, HateMe?
We are
who
here.
Only has 39% odds of winning this match.
We're here to witness. We are here to bear witness who will ascend to the semifinals in Alpha XEU Ascension League Season 1, Code S. We're gonna find out.
They're saying that 3 times fast.
It all comes down to this, and the final map is going to be Altitude.
Oh, Altitude? You mean Kavorian Mines?
Yeah, the one and only. I'd like to think that that's like the highest point in France.
Yeah.
That's why it's Altitude.
The mine?
The mine, yep.
The
I don't judge the topography of France, okay? It's a bowl, confirmed.
Something like that. Anyway, we're going to be jumping into our final map of the evening. We are going to be concluding the quarterfinals here on Altitude. Where in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have our pink Polish Protoss player playing for Platinum Heroes, participating from Poland and rocking that Bijol Cup decal. He is the favorite. He had 69%. He has 69% chance of winning this, but now he's 1 map away from elimination. He is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude LE, we have his opponents, the Austrian Zerg player representing Platinum Heroes. And oh so close from causing an upset, it is HateMe.
Probably the biggest upset in the history of esports if this happens. The entire history.
Kappa. we just had that, to be fair.
Yeah.
At IEM.
It's a theme.
We don't have to go into it just in case. But yeah, we'll see if he can pull it off. So far, standard opener. HateMe hasn't opted to go for an early pull, just a hatch gas pool opener. So he's calming down. He's returning to orbit.
Indeed, he has he reverted to his primal stage in the previous game, but now he's evolving once again.
Yeah, he's
stage evolving,
morphing from a larva into a zergling.
Oh, he's going from a caterpie to a metapod.
Oh, there you go. Not a metapod into a butterfree.
Maybe.
He has to win for that to happen.
Yeah. He does, yeah.
There you go.
It's going from a Megazord to a Voltron.
What?
Digimon.
That's
Digimon.
not...
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
That's Digimon. Yeah.
No, that's not Digimon. Megazord is not Digimon, Yaku. Neither is Ultra. That's two very different IPs. They're not related at all. God damn. Oh god. But yes, so far it looks like ArT, he's coming back here. Game 1 was the only other game where he went for a Stargate opener, and now we are having it once again. ArT doesn't want to take any risks here in the ace match.
Yeah, again, just one map away. One map away from advancing, and one map away from being eliminated. So, do you really want to gamble in that scenario? I do. But ArT and HateMe are both much more sensible than I am.
A little bit, and we'll see how things go here. HateMe does go for a relatively early Roach Warren. He went for a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren. So I'm curious to see what that is going to be for. He's making a wave of Lings, but these Lings are really just for map control and just to deny any kind of third base that pops out. We'll see if HateMe does decide to cut workers anytime soon, or if he's just a little bit paranoid and what's that Roach Warren for safety.
Yeah, either way, it gives him a lot of options. As the game continues, the Oracle gets taken out by these queens after killing only 3 drones. I don't think that Oracle paid for itself.
It really didn't. ArT slipping up a little bit uncharacteristically here in the ace match. Losing that Oracle means he's going to be in the dark when it comes to HateMe and whether or not he's even going to drone up this third base. We can see he is. He's going for an Evo chamber as well. It looks like this Roach Warren was just for safety. We can see he's not making any roaches here. If he did see a Twilight Council opener and another kind of 2-base push, then HateMe would have access to roaches. But for the time being, he's just chilling.
Yeah, he's just Chilean and
Singaporean.
Yeah, both.
There you go. Now, the big red flag right now for HateMe is the fact that there is still no third Nexus. Finally, ArT is going for that third, but HateMe is making a wave of roaches back at home. He's investing quite a bit into this Ling Roach, though. It looks like he's getting ready for a push.
Yeah, which funnily enough can definitely help him against these Archons coming his way. But if he misses the Warp Prism and he makes his way across the map, there is no way he's gonna be able to get home in time.
Yeah,
thankfully, he's safe.
This is a really odd build, by the way, from ArT. He actually prioritized the Templar Archives over any kind of upgrade from his Twilight Council. He has Archons before charge lots, which doesn't happen too often here. We do see with this harassment he's going to be able to pick off one of these queens, but I worry for HateMe. He invested quite a bit into these roaches and lings, and he has to make something happen with them.
And so far, delaying the third base would be one way of making use of these lings, but the Archons are returning home. There were already adepts here to defend. I don't think HateMe is getting the most out of slings. Yeah,
he gets two adepts for 20 or so lings. A lot of lings did end up going down. So not the best trades here for HateMe. All those lings, the majority of them could have been drones. He could have had a 4th base on the way right now. So HateMe once again is falling a little bit behind when it comes to his overall expansions. But he is at least now throwing down his 4th.
Yeah. And it is quicker than ArT is getting 4th base of his own, so unlike game number 3, I believe it was, HateMe isn't going to be at a disastrous economic position.
Yeah, as we do see ArT once again going into the main base with these Archons. He's going for a warping of charge lots as well. +1 melee or +1 attack is about to finish up for the Protoss. The Prism is going to be pushed back, but not bad damage being done here. 8 drones go down.
8 drones and 3 queens go down. Meanwhile, the rest of the Archons and Zealots are attacking into the 3rd base location. Finally, this attack into the main is going to be cleaned up, but not before the Archons get evacuated. Not before that 3rd base goes down.
Oh, HateMe completely pulled apart. His units just were not in position. Roach speed lagging behind quite a bit, and because of that, he wasn't able to keep up with the Prism with those Zealots. And now HateMe's in a really awkward position. I believe his fourth was also cancelled as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or was killed. Uh-oh.
It was killed?
Yeah.
Okay, everything I said earlier about HateMe not being in a terrible economic position, scratch all of that. He's actually in an even worse position than in game number 3.
He's, yeah, he just lost 2 entire hatcheries. He's on 2 base economy right now. He's trying to double expand as we speak, but things are not looking good here for HateMe. He did go for a fast spire and he has mutas on the way. These mutas, they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. But I believe in the 2-base mutalist play. That was another kill and not a cancel on that 4th base location. Or on that 4th base. So once again, HateMe is just bleeding out so many minerals.
He really is. And these mutas, we have 5 in total. That is enough to one-shot a probe. That is just barely enough to one-shot a probe, but does he even want to use them to harass? They get spotted, by the way, by the observer outside the natural, and now ArT can get ready back at home.
Shield battery and a cannon is already set up in the main base. Shield battery and a cannon is being set up in the natural base. And there's also one in the 3rd base, where the entire army is also waiting for these mutalisks, funnily enough.
Yeah, exactly. The Phoenixes are in production as well. These mutas are doing absolutely 0 damage right now. 500 gas down the drain. They need to find something, but the anti-air, the positioning is just too good, and now the Phoenixes reveal themselves.
Yeah. Phoenixes plus shield battery. None of these mutalisks are really going to get much damage. 2 probes go down at the cost of 5 full mutalisks.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst trades I've ever seen in the history of this game.
That was brutal, and HateMe, can he recover from here? I mean, he has been able to buy some time, and he's finally got his 4th hatchery back up and running to re-drone, but ArT has his own 4th base up and running as well. So HateMe, he's got to look for some better trades here. He's got to look for some counter damage as well. He's going for a bit of a Ling run by on the left-hand side. If he can somehow get into a mineral line with Banelings, then he can turn things in his favor.
And I really like this almost as a trademark for HateMe. +2 melee Banelings. Somehow, he's able to see them into mineral lines over and over and over again. He's going to have to do that plenty of times this game, though, to sort of get back on equal footing, both in terms of economy and tech. This is a pretty good defense.
Yeah, but here we go. The Banelings are rolling on in, but they don't get the damage that they were looking for. They get 1 probe. ArT was able to respond in time.
Yeah, that was a very quick body block with that warp into Stalkers, and with that, and that was actually before +2 finished. That was a very, unfortunate timing for HateMe.
Bit of an anti-timing there from our Zerg player. At the same time, he's going for another Ling run by, but this time ArT is also in position. He's going to be able to chase some of this back. ArT himself is going for his own Zealot run bys, but the Banelings are being morphed in once again. Like, he just needs to clear 1 mineral line. If he can do so, then he can slow down ArT, and he needs to because ArT is getting ready. He's already got carriers on the way.
Yeah, and HateMe just doesn't have a response. He has a Spire. Don't get us wrong, but he just doesn't have the resources to get enough Corruptors to really threaten that. Or to really threaten those carriers.
He's actually got a 2nd Spire on the way. Interesting. I don't think he has the economy to go for double upgrades for his units. So maybe he forgot about his 1st Spire. It's hard to say. We'll see what happens there. As he's getting ready for a late game transition, he's got a Hive on the way as well. At the same time, we have a bit of a Zealot run by. I say Zealot run by, actually an Archon drop here towards the south.
Yeah. And it's the same principle at the end of the day, but the splash damage of the Archons does mean that 7 probes go down in the blink of an eye. He's looking to get even more.
He is looking for a little bit more damage. The Archons survived. The entire army of HateMe was forced to turn around and go back home. The Archons slipping back into the main base, getting even more damage done. And ArT gets an eye on the timing of that Hive as well as the 2nd Spire.
Ooh. At the very least, the Warp Prism and the Archons both go down. So that's one fewer thing for HateMe to really worry about. But it's far from the game-winning move.
Yeah, looking at the vision here, HateMe wasn't able to, even though he got into the main base with an Overseer, and the Overseer is still in the natural, he didn't see the Fleet Beacon, he didn't see the second Stargate. He doesn't know about the Sky Toss. He has very little that shoots up.
Are the carriers just gonna roll over this army? I mean, they're queens, right?
Yeah.
So, so there's at least something HateMe can do.
We'll
if the queens
see.
survive, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. ArT, he's pushing on into creep. Finally, Corruptors are on the way. We do see a mass around, and we see a recall coming out from ArT.
Yeah, HateMe not even gonna bother wasting time trying to take out units in that recall. He jumps straight at the Archons. A storm was popped, so a lot of Lings and Banes do go down, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to be optimistic for HateMe.
Yeah, I mean, he's working on his Sky Toss. Unfortunately, he still doesn't have any upgrades for his Corruptors. He's working on a Greater Spire. He is going to be able to force a cancel at this 5th base, which isn't too bad, but he's going to be bleeding out a lot of units to these carriers, all these Interceptors.
These poor roaches immediately have to turn around, and yeah. Corruptors are starting to pop out right now. That's a decent Corruptor count, and there are only 4 carriers, but still, there are plenty of storms available for ArT. There are a decent number of Stalkers and a decent number of Archons as well.
Yeah, and HateMe, he's already struggling to deal with the Zealot Runbys on the left-hand side. Another Zealot Runby is about to hit him, and it's forcing his attention away. It looks like HateMe is giving up another hatchery, and he's not just giving up hatcheries, he's also giving up map presence as well. Oh my god, the feedbacks do connect with the Vipers.
And that's going to be one Viper with 0 energy. The other one, honestly, not that high either. It's about 125. Now it's sucking on youth juice. Should be fine.
Yeah, and with these Vipers, it's I think HateMe can maybe take a fight, as long as he has some Broodlords mixed in as well. The problem is that he doesn't. So even if he like yoinks and he kills all these carriers, I don't know if he has what it takes to deal with the ground army. And to be fair, I don't know if he has what it takes to deal with the carriers either.
Yeah. It's like he can deal with one or the other at a time, but not both. Whereas ArT, he's so rich, he's getting everything he needs, really. He's even thinking about his next step, you know, if somehow my High Templar and my Archons get caught out by Banelings or whatever, what do I want to get these Corruptors? I know, Flux Veins.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, here we go. We have the first joint, but the feedbacks are a little bit too good. ArT is going to lose one of his carriers, but only one carrier is going to go down. The hatchery falls. HateMe cannot fight this without any of his spellcasters available, and he just has to fall back.
Yeah, I think the Vipers got sniped actually. Oh no, they are sucking under youth juice. It's fine. It's fine.
They survived. They were able to be pulled back in time. But these Corruptors, they just can't find any of these carriers left idle. The Archons are always here ferrying them, babysitting them. Do you see 2 of these Archons actually, you know, straying away from the pack, and one of them is going to go down? Oh.
Yeah, like so. Ooh, Corruptors do jump on top of these carriers, but that does give the High Templar an opportunity to storm. Even if the carriers go down, there's still a Void Ray to deal with, and still all of these Immortals that were chipping away at the roach count. Ugh. GG gets called as the deities rock in, and ArT will take that series 3-2, but he absolutely had to fight hard for it.
GG, well played. HateMe, oh my god, he did such a great job at the start of this series, getting to a really good position with a 2-0 lead. But things kind of fell apart a little bit. Game 3, I don't know if it was nerves, but he was being pulled apart by ArT. Game 4 was brutal with that 12 pull. we don't need to talk about Game 4.
Drone pull, 12 pull.
Yeah.
That started.
And here in Game 5, it felt very similar to Game number 3, where ArT was doing a great job at just forcing HateMe to split up his army and defend in multiple locations at once, and HateMe just really couldn't keep up to the point where he was just sustaining too many losses and falling too far behind. And with that lead, ArT was able to get into Skytos.
Yeah.
We saw at the end there, HateMe was killing all of those carriers. Like, he straight up was winning the air battle. But you mentioned it, right? Like, you know, HateMe can win one fight or the other. He can win the air battle or maybe the ground battle, but he can't really win both. And as he was killing all the carriers, he was also just losing hatchery after hatchery, drone after drone. He was down in the economy. He didn't really have a bank to rebuild an army, or even get into Broodlord production. Oof.
Definitely. And again, this is kind of the result that we expected. There was a 69% chance, or Ligulac gave ArT a 69% chance of winning against HateMe here. I'm not sure what happened in between Game 2 and Game 3, but it really looked like ArT just tightened up his play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really did. It really did. I mean, oh my god, I'm really impressed by it. To be fair, I'm impressed by all the players that competed today. As I quickly switch the scenes over, let's take this moment to go over the bracket a little bit. You know, we have the technology. It is available to us, as I should refresh the Wikipedia page here. And yeah, we had a lot of really great games tonight, really intense games as well. If you tuned in towards the end of the broadcast, I highly recommend checking out the first 2 TVPs because they were wild.
Absolutely wild. Geron, still to this day, my favorite EU Terran player. He's just so wild, chaotic, and very, very entertaining. Yeah, those were probably definitely the highlights for me, but also, I mean, he ended up losing in the end, but I've said it before and I'll say it once again, HateMe really, really impressed me tonight. I really think that he is, he is expanding his play quite a bit. There's a lot more depth to it, and I cannot wait for the next thing that he plays in that I get to either cast or watch.
Yeah, I hope he becomes a little bit more active as well, like, especially in these OSC partnered tournaments. Like, typically when I think of these OSC events and when I think of European Zerg players, I think of Mixu, Young Yakov, and Iba. And there are plenty of others out there, but we don't really get too much Zerg representation in these online tournaments. So it would be nice to see a little bit more of HateMe, you know, if he ever is available and has the time to compete. I would love to see him in like these OSC King of the Hills, for example. I think it's a format that would favor him, to be honest. And likewise, echoing what you said, I want to see more of him. Also, shout out to both Night Phoenix and Milky Cow. Even though Armageddon was like hyper aggression, Milky Cow was aggressive and also insane. To tease the chat a little bit, if you didn't get to see it, Milky Cow, there was a game where he went proxy ghost against Night Phoenix, which was wild. And there was another game we opened up 1-1-1 and he went reactor starport Viking production. He had no other. He had one Marine and he had like 8 Vikings. What the hell is happening?
And he lost all of those Vikings.
He did lose all the Vikings. He had nothing left and he just died. It was crazy. So yeah, really intense, really chaotic, really entertaining games. Highly recommend.
Spats versus Blue Cheese. I've already forgotten. Rotko. That was Rotko. Rotko. That's his new name. There was a little bit of a respite between all of the chaos. It was a lot more standard, which we appreciated at this stage of the tournament. But yeah, there was also a lot to appreciate in that series as well. It's just, Blue Cheese's timing with his SCVs and his build variety is definitely something to witness.
Yeah, it was really impressive. You know, very different playstyle compared to the other Terrans, but something to respect as well. Oh, and after all said and done, we can see here that there are now 0 Zerg players left in the bracket. My heart bleeds.
Hashtag Zerg Kebab.
Hashtag Zerg Kebab. Confirmed. My heart bleeds a little bit for them, but I'm happy to see all these other players doing well. Akedon is the Terran hope, and he is looking to stand up against all these European Protoss players. Night Phoenix,
notice that.
Night Phoenix, Spats, and ArT.
Oh, gonna be a tough road ahead for him, but I'm hoping he harnesses the power of every other EU Terran player out there, or just Terran players in general. Give him your energy.
Definitely, definitely. I look forward to those games. If you're interested in the semis and the grand finals, they will not be casted today. You know, we had quite a long broadcast. Actually,
yet.
We're almost at 5 hours. Jesus.
Yeah, I've been staring at the sandwich for like 2.5 of those hours.
Surge. Oh my god! Especially after the first two best of fives, I was like, yeah, we're gonna end around the 4 hour. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. The games went on a little bit longer than that, so I do apologize, Yaku. But yes, we're just covering the quarterfinals today. The semis and the grand finals will be next week. Next week we will be covering them. Keep an eye on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. We will announce when we plan to go live. The event will also be on the Team Liquid calendar if you rely on that for when tournaments are playing. So if you want to see how this all ends, then tune in next week. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. That's typically why we aren't free to cast Ascension Cup for the remainder of this week. World Team League is coming back. Now that IM Katowice has ended, now that all the high tier players are available, World Team League is going to be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we are going to be live casting every single one of those days to find out who has or what the best team is in StarCraft.
I already know the answer to that.
Oh, it's the Ducklings, puppies.
Yeah.
And if it's not the Ducklings, it's onside, obviously. Oh my god, basically Ducklings, basically. Yeah, so we have 3 full days of StarCraft coming tomorrow, so keep an eye out on your calendars for the rest of World Team League. It's going to be a lot of fun, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be beautiful. Thank you so much, Yaku, for joining me today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Yeah, I know you've been really busy with your studies, and we can't get you to cast all the time, but yeah, I do appreciate you jumping on to cast with me today, and I'm sure we're going to have much more to cast in the future. Not just cast, but we also have a podcast coming up as well.
Indeed, we do a very special podcast, because of course, the Asher bet, not to delve into details too much, but the Asher bet is going to be paid.
It's going to be amazing.
In that podcast.
It's going to be amazing. So for those who don't know, we recently brought back a StarCraft podcast called The Pondcast, because we are ducks, quack.
Yeah.
We brought it back, and
call it.
Yeah. we had a bit of a discussion going into IM Katowice, and we ended up, at the end of the show, we had predictions for what the grand finals would be for IM Katowice. And leading up to it, of course, Asher, he is the Terran apologist. You know, he is, you know, just submerged, and he embraces the Terran Echo.
Official job title here in the Cranky Ducklings.
He embraces the Terran Echo Chamber a little bit too much at times. And he threw. It wasn't even us. He willingly. he willingly.
We didn't even challenge him.
Yeah. He wanted to throw down, and he made a bet that. A couple of things. One, we had all assumed that there would at least be a Zerg player in the finals. He threw it down and he said it's going to be a ZVZ finals. And if there is no Zerg player in the finals, period, then Asher would eat an ice cream and Vegemite sandwich, which is crazy.
And that's a sandwich with bread.
With bread.
It's not like an ice cream sandwich that he's gonna like spread Vegemite on. No.
Yeah, it's gonna be bread. It's gonna be ice cream. There's gonna be Vegemite. He's Aussie, by the way, if you didn't know. So
he has access to Vegemite.
He does have access, and there were no Zergs. He was so confident, by the way. Like, we stopped him. He kept going. He's like, you know what? Not just ice cream, but he's like, I'm gonna put hot sauce and I'm gonna put all this other stuff. And we're like, mate, calm down. You're gonna lose the bet. And he's like, no, there's no way. There's no way Zergs don't overwhelm and win Katowice. He was so convinced that it was gonna happen, and yeah, we all saw what happened at IM.
Oh yeah.
So Ash
Not
is...
to get into too many details, but you might want to, if viewers who haven't seen caught up on the VODs yet, now's the time.
Worth it.
Now is the time.
Check out the VODs for I Am Katowice. Asher, he's got to collect. He has to be shamed in front of everyone. So for the next Pondcast, which will be next week, yeah, tune in. Tune in if you want to see a Terran player suffer. As they should. As they should. Kappa. Oh my god. So
the desire to punish Asher, bro, was outweighed the desire for Zerg to win from the Cabal.
Yes. Asher's still in denial. He's in the chat.
Canon.
I still think there's no way.
It's canon.
Oh my god. Smurge, Papi, smurge. I see Eba in the chat. Are you going to do code A when it's done? I believe so. I will inquire with the admins.
Yeah.
Because of course this is code S of the EU Ascension League. We'll at least do the playoffs of code A. We'll do the playoffs.
Yeah. We'll try to plan and schedule around that to see what we can come up with. Of course, we'll have to coordinate with the admins as well, but yeah. We do intend to do it. We'll just have to figure out how and when.
There we go. There we go. Well, with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hope you guys had a great time with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the tournament. And Yaku, thank you so much for joining me. Do you have anything you want to say before? Before that, Yaku, where can people find you? Where can they find you?
MS Word for like the next 2 months, because I just have deadline after deadline after deadline coming up. But on the off chance that I do stream at some point, that's going to be over at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'll announce when I go live over at Empora Yakuzaku, or if I just, shitpost there. Or if you're interested in my shitpost, you can also follow me over there. !Discord in the chat is where you can find me, as well as the bot that announces when I go live. And it's not just us. It's also Light is there. Kuro is there. Asher is there. Emperor Fubel is there. Everyone's there, mate. If you're not in the server, and what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life? If you're not in the server. So yeah, you can follow myself as well at light_VIP. I stream throughout the week. I usually don't stream if we have a cast planned, because I don't want to smudge. I don't want to ruin my mood. So probably not going to be streaming for the next couple of days. But instead, if you're interested in our casting, check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. All of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube. They're also available on Twitch if you're interested in that as well. CranKy Ducklings all over the place. Again, our next cast is going to be tomorrow with World Team League, and the Pondcast will return at some point next week as well. Keep an eye out for those announcements. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Also, shout out to Alpha X.
They're introduced. Alpha X and Miguel.
Yeah, shout out to Miguel, Miguelito, Alpha X, Snoopy. I saw Snoopy in the chat as well. He's one of the admins. So yeah, if it wasn't for Alpha X, this tournament wouldn't be a thing. This is a great way to foster talent in the European scene, to foster these up-and-coming players, give them a purpose, give them a reason to practice, to improve, and commit to StarCraft.
Yeah. When you say give them a purpose, I'm like, oh dang.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a really good way of, like you said, just fostering talent. It gives a bit of incentive, because you know that you're not just practicing every day for a tournament that's in 3 months. Mm-hmm. You actually do have a competitive setting. You actually are able to test out your skills and the stuff that you practice on a fairly regular basis, which is very, very important when it comes to the health of a scene.
Yeah, when it comes to the health of the scene, when it comes to motivating players and, giving them that drive to exceed and do well and to ascend, Papi, to ascend.
To higher.
Yeah. And if you're watching in the chat, give Alpha X a lot of love as well on social media. If they do get a lot of feedback from this, I'm sure there will be another season. This is the first iteration of Ascension League, and I'm sure more will come, more will follow, maybe even branching out into other regions as well.
Yeah. I want that. I want that. What would the NA version be called? Or the
NA
Latin
Apprentice.
America version would be called? Yeah, the NA version is NA Apprentice, but the Latin America version, I mean, how much do you ascend in LATAM?
How high can you get in North America? That is, you can get pretty high, Poppy.
Yeah, pretty high nowadays, from what I've heard.
Oh boy, oh boy. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Stick around. We're going to give someone a raid. I don't know who, but another StarCraft 2 streamer. So give them some love. Give them a chance. Give them a little bit of your time as we do
Is that a hint?
spread some support. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So thanks for watching, everyone. Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head up for the night?
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Not being picked up. No.
All right, we'll see you soon, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bella.